Here's a question most boards never ask themselves. What if your caution is the problem, not your management company, not your vendors, not the economy? What if the obstacle between your community and real progress is the governance culture you've built around being careful? Overcautious boards don't usually identify themselves that way. They believe they're being responsible fiduciaries. They're asking hard questions, requesting more documentation, requiring multiple bids on everything, and making sure no decision moves forward without full board visibility. From inside the board, that feels like diligence. From the outside, your management company, your vendors, your residents, it looks different. Projects that have been on the agenda for 6 months without movement. Vendors who've stopped responding promptly because they've learned that proposals go through multiple review cycles and often lead nowhere. A management company that stopped exercising professional judgment because every time it does, it gets second-guessed. The community that's supposed to be getting better is staying exactly the same, and the board is spending most of its energy on process rather than outcomes. In many cases, overcautious governance isn't a board-wide problem. It's a personality problem that the board's structure enables. When one member with an intensely cautious, detail-focused personality becomes the de facto gatekeeper for decisions, and the rest of the board defers to that dynamic rather than pushing back, the entire board's decision-making velocity slows to that person's pace. This matters because decision-making velocity is itself a form of governance quality. A board that can't make timely decisions on a $3,000 repair authorization, that tables the same capital project for the 4th consecutive meeting, that requires a third bid on work that 2 qualified contractors have already priced, that board is creating operational drag that costs real money in delayed maintenance, damaged vendor relationships, and management company paralysis. The goal of responsible governance isn't to eliminate the possibility of mistakes, it's to make good decisions in reasonable time frames. There's a version of board leadership that prioritizes never making a mistake over actually making progress. It's understandable. Board members are volunteers, and no one wants to be the person who approves something that went sideways. But the boards that are most focused on avoiding mistakes tend to be the least effective at achieving goals. Here's what the research on organizational decision-making tells us. The cost of inaction in most governance contexts is comparable to or higher than the cost of reasonable mistakes that get corrected. Deferred maintenance that becomes an emergency repair. Vendor relationships that erode because the community is too difficult to work with. Capable board members who burn out and resign because they can't get anything done. Professional management that goes into a defensive posture because initiative consistently creates friction. These are the costs of a board that is more committed to process than results. And they tend to be invisible until they're not. If your community's goals keep appearing on the agenda without getting closer, it's worth asking honestly whether the obstacle is external or internal. The boards that make real progress, that actually improve their communities rather than managing the status quo, tend to have one thing in common. They trust their professionals enough to let them work, and they've built a governance structure where decisions actually get made. If that's not your board today, that's a conversation worth having. At ManageMax, we know that effective community management is built on transparency and systematic excellence. We provide full-service HOA and condominium management across Southeast Michigan, handling everything from accurate financial reporting to proactive maintenance. Our goal is to reduce the burden on your board while protecting your property values. If you're looking for a partner who values accountability as much as you do, visit us at ManageMaxProperties.com. Let's build a stronger community together.